They tested the bhp, the power, the brake horsepower of my stock Abarth. But the good news is...
So, looking at the logs between the stock intercoolers and obviously our front mount, the data doesn't lie.
The REMAP Abarth. Jesus Christ. Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of the K-Tec Racing intercooler kind of job modification. So I left you in the last video with showing you that the intercooler is now on the car. That is my next mod. Never had an intercooler on an Abarth in my ownership before, and I have now. Now it's all down to the all-important product testing of the intercooler itself, and also adding on a cheeky little remap to see what power we can get with the intercooler now cooling down my Abarth engine and turbo more. So here is James getting my car onto the dyno machine to test the power that the Abarth has as a completely standard car with no modifications and no K-Tec intercooler at this point also. So as you just saw, that was the car on the dyno machine, completely stock car, stock Abarth, no intercooler, just a standard Abarth intercooler. And I can tell you, actually, I'm quite impressed. So they tested the bhp, the power, the brake horsepower of my stock Abarth. Now this, as I call it, is the basic spec Abarth. Should have rolled out the factory with 145 brake horsepower. Now I hear myths that some people with their standard powered Abarths get more power than they're expecting, and some other people get less. Because this car should be 145, I was kind of thinking worse, like it might be 140 brake horsepower, 135, I don't know. But the good news is, when the car went on the rolling road to test its stock power, it had a whopping 155 horsepower. So yeah, wasn't expecting my Abarth, my stock powered basic spec Abarth, to be running more than it should be. So that's cool. Now, they also want to test the engine temperature before the intercooler goes on to make sure the K-Tec Racing intercooler they've developed is going to do its job properly and going to work efficiently at cooling down my Abarth engine. And then hopefully we'll map it all in and we'll push the 155 bhp up to, I don't know where, but let's get that bhp up. Let's add a couple more horses under the bonnet. Brake horsepower. See what I did there? And now James was rigging up some device to check the temperature of the engine with the intercooler on.
So, looking at the logs between the stock intercoolers and obviously our front mount, the data doesn't lie. Our air temperature with the bonnet shut peaked at about 45 degrees C, which that can be heat soak and everything that's combined with that. The run with the front mount, it's half that at 20 odd degrees. Recovers quickly even when it gets a bit warm due to heat soak. Sat idle, sat with heat bleeding into the system. Again, with a few runs and a bit of fresh air on the intercooler, it recovers down to lower temps, which is exactly what you need on something like this when you're pushing for more power.
And now the laptop is out for the ECU remap. That's got a bit of burbles now. So first little drive now in the REMAP Abarth, obviously with the K-Tec intercooler now fitted. So on the dyno, the car standard was around about 151 bhp brake horsepower, and now it should be running around 160. And as James has explained it, the power is more down the torquier kind of bottom end of the graph, so it's now skyrocketing down the bottom, so we should be able to get up to speed quicker basically than kind of top end speed. So let's take it for a little spin and see how it feels. We should notice a difference. Christ. Wow, that is very that is very quick. You can feel a bit of torque steer coming through the steering wheel, but the turbo gauge was going right round down the bottom end here. That is super nippy, and as the guy said at K-Tec Racing, it's going to be more bottom end, and wow, you can I thought it was quick anyway, stock power, which as I say ended up being 150 odd horsepower, but now it's got 160, like, quick cap,
Pretty fast.
So here's one of the printouts I got. This one's got both the before and after on. So over here we have the power, which was 151 brake horsepower as standard, and the torque was 224. After the remap, we got 162, so around about 160 horsepower, we're obviously going to say. And the engine torque's gone up to 300. Now, what does that mean, graph liney wise? So here, this is the torque. So the blue line is before. So as you see, the torque was just pretty steady. Now they're saying, and it proves, the torque has now gone up to 300, so from 224 to 300. Now, as I say, bottom end, it goes right up and then kind of evens out. So before, look at the line, and that goes right up. And then brake horsepower wise, we got before, which is the blue line, and then the black line, which is after, obviously going, again, more of an increase down the bottom end to the top end. So yeah, there we go. The printouts don't lie, as they say. So there we have it, and guys, the remap results are in. So obviously not only has the K-Tec Racing intercooler proved that it's now keeping my engine nice and cool by half, it's halved my engine temperature, but we've also done a remap, and okay, it's added 10 horsepower, but we can't stress enough that most of that power is down the bottom end. You would have just seen I've taken out for a quick test drive with Kat, and I'm calling it I've got bottom end VTEC now, because down the bottom it's so much more torquier and so much more quicker. But yeah, stay tuned. I am going to take the car out for a whole drive in a whole separate video where I can actually take the car out for a drive. But as I say already, the results speak for themselves. The turbo gauge is going way over now, and the bottom end power is certainly there, so way quicker than it was, obviously. So we've got big gains down the bottom end, but that makes all the difference for sure. So obviously a big thank you to the guys at K-Tec Racing once again. A big thank you to James, that's just standing in front of me now, for installing the intercooler, doing a remap, working his magic on the old laptop. And we'll be back again for sure for more K-Tec goodies. And I'll see you in another video where, as I say, we're going to properly take this car out for a drive with the new remap and the intercooler on. So thanks to K-Tec, and you can check out the website linked in the description below if you want to treat your Abarth to an intercooler, and make sure you use my discount code. Thanks for watching, see you later.